how it's gone. Okay, so welcome back to Mindfull. I haven't actually done an episode in a few weeks, just because uni's been really busy and everyone's been really busy and we've all had a lot to do, so I haven't really had time to sit and actually plan and record another one with another person. It's just going to be me today, but I just wanted to do a quick talk about how it's gone so far and what my plans are. So the last two episodes I've genuinely enjoyed so much. Like, I really, really enjoyed recording them, and it felt very natural to me. It felt very normal. It was just sitting down and having a really kind of casual conversation with two people. They were very different conversations, something that I've sort of reflected on, but they were equally interesting and equally refreshing for me to be a part of. I definitely want to do loads more. I've only had time to do two, which is so annoying. They do take up quite a lot of time to kind of plan it and prepare it and make sure that the other person's like free, and to kind of book a space or something that we can ensure that it's going to be quiet and we have no interruptions and stuff. There's a lot of planning behind it, which I've really, really enjoyed, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of planning alongside it, so I haven't had time to do another one just yet, but I am planning on doing a few more over the summer. I've had quite a few people reaching out to me asking if they can be a part of it, and they definitely can. I want to get as many people involved as possible. I want to genuinely have as many conversations about mental health as possible, and I think it's really interesting when you can have a variety of conversations with a variety of different people. I think it really provides a context and a kind of, I don't know, different angles and different perspectives that you hadn't really kind of considered. I remember in the last episode, my conversation with Katie, she said quite a few things that I was surprised about, but not in a bad way. She just genuinely surprised me with a few things she said, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I think for the last few years I have been quite, I don't know, open about mental health, and I've written about it a lot. I've talked about it a lot with people in my life, and I've come to know a lot about it, and at least that's what I thought. But actually the last two episodes I think I've really kind of expanded my knowledge of what mental health is and what it means, and I think that's a really brilliant thing. I think my intentions with the podcast were to help other people and to encourage a conversation, encourage a kind of dialogue that people understand that it's normal and it's okay, and it's not something that should be shameful or stigmatized or looked down upon. It's a really healthy thing to have these conversations. That was my intention going into it, and I think I didn't think that I would get much out of it, but actually I've gotten so much out of it. There's been a real kind of surge of people talking to me about it, and on the episodes I really did learn a lot, and I was kind of forced in a way to think about things from a different perspective and in a different way, which I think is actually very, very good for an individual to have to do. So yeah, I just wanted to do kind of a quick episode by myself, just talking about what I've learnt. Personally, for me, I haven't really had much of a chance to talk about my own mental health in the podcast, just because that wasn't ever my intention. I wanted it to be talking to other people. I found the process of interviewing really, really interesting and really fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. But for my own personal mental health, it's actually been really, really good this year. I struggled in the first year of uni, just with a lot of problems, and my mental health was not great. It was quite rocky. But in the second year, I've really kind of come into my own, and I've had a real positive mindset and outlook on a lot of things. In terms of how this podcast has affected my own mental health, I think it genuinely has had a really positive impact. I think it forces you, and it makes you have to talk about it and have to have, I've created this outlet now, I have to use it, and I think it's making me be a lot more introspective and making me think a lot more about my own feelings and my own emotions, and in a much more in-depth way than I'd ever kind of had to do before. So that's really interesting. And yeah, it's just been really, really interesting to start a podcast in general, actually, just having a space where you can talk. Obviously, I'm studying creative writing and I love writing, but I think having another avenue that isn't pen to paper or typing on your laptop, having another way in which you can express yourself and talk and show emotion and show what you're feeling is a really, really interesting thing. I remember in the first episode with Amy, we joked quite a few times that it was like therapy, but it really was like free therapy. In terms of kind of things that I would change about the podcast, this is something that I genuinely want to keep doing. Obviously, it started off as a university project, and it's been that for the last few episodes, but I do want it to carry on, and I would love to keep making these episodes whenever I can, because it's really, really fun for me and I really enjoy it. I've sort of discovered a passion that I didn't realise I had. I think there are things that I'd like to change or would have liked to done differently, obviously, but I mean, I'm not sure really, they're not that big of a deal. I think I would, obviously the first episode was very long. I would quite like the episodes to have been sort of 40 minutes-ish. It was quite good in the last episode with Casey, and we managed to kind of get it just on 40, which was really good. I also planned on kind of filming or recording an intro and an outro by myself. That didn't go to plan because I had a few problems with uploading the file, so I had to kind of upload it all in as like a one file. I thought I could edit it and put kind of another file at the beginning and the end, but it didn't work that way. So I would have preferred that. Listening back to the episodes, I would have preferred there to be a much more kind of clear-cut beginning and a clear-cut end. They both just kind of begin and end however, which isn't great. So I would change that, definitely. That would be really good. I think that's something that I'll try and do in the future. There's one thing that I really love about one of my favourite podcasts, which is How to Fail by Elizabeth Day. She has a kind of intro at the beginning of every podcast, because those podcasts are interviewing people, and she has an intro at the beginning of every episode that's basically just a kind of introducing everyone to who this person is and what they're known for and kind of a bit about themselves, and it really helps when she kind of dives into the conversation. It's context, and I think that's something that I would definitely do differently. But other than that, I have been really happy with how the episodes have turned out. I went into each episode with a kind of list of questions written out, which has been really helpful, because there are moments where when you're sat there talking, you do forget what you were going to say, and you're very aware that it's this kind of one take situation, at least with the episodes that I've done. So I've been kind of very aware of sitting there and not wanting to just suddenly forget completely how to talk and what to say. So I think having those questions written out has really helped me, and I would definitely keep doing that with future episodes, because it's been really a helpful tool to have. Yeah, and it's been really, really nice actually, just having the engagement sort of that goes alongside the podcast, and doing all of the kind of admin-y bits alongside, and all the uploads and kind of what to title the episodes and things like that. And it was really exciting. We now have got the podcast on iTunes, which is really, really cool. Unfortunately, the first episode with Amy didn't upload to iTunes. I don't know why, it just didn't. So I'm trying to fix that, but I think that might just have to be just an excuse to have to film another one with Amy, which is just such an annoying thing. Anyway, so I was really happy it got onto iTunes. Going to try and get it onto another platform like Spotify, just because I know that not everyone has iTunes. But yeah, I've been really happy with most things so far. Obviously there are things that I would change. I think a lot of that is going to come with doing it more often, and then getting a better sense of how to do it. And I think once I do it more and more, it'll become like second nature. It's just because the first two were obviously the first two, so that was difficult to navigate exactly how to do it and what to do. But overall, yeah, I've been really happy with it. I've used my phone and my laptop as recording devices, and they seem to have worked really well. Obviously would like to invest in an actual microphone, but until I do that, then these are working really well. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for listening, everyone who has listened. It's been really, really nice hearing feedback and hearing that people are enjoying it. And I have so much more that I want to talk about, so many topics that we haven't even covered, like we haven't even touched the surface of. So yeah, I really, really am grateful for that. And I'm only uploading this as just a mini kind of in-between episode, just to say thank you and just to fill everyone in. And hopefully the next episode will be with another person, not just me sat on my own. Let's hope anyway, who knows. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode, hopefully for a more polished, put together episode. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much. Bye.